Illinois basketball continues to put out great content of their players playing basketball. That's rare these
Can we
days.
get can we get a slow clap for Illinois media team? Good, good. All right, okay, that's not a slow clap. That's on me. But I do got to give them just pat on the back clap here because they have identified that they got some good basketball players and that they should put out content of them playing basketball.
So we've been making a bunch of jokes about our teams with this. I haven't seen Michigan in the gym once in months. That's unfortunate because Juwan Howard liked to turn the lights off and lock the doors whenever Michigan played basketball. He didn't want anybody to see them play basketball. For good reason when you're Juwan Howard running the program the way Juwan Howard did. I thought Dusty May would be a little more marketable and maybe invite people in to come see the inner workings. Doesn't appear to be the case. Your program is more concerned about golf and teeing up the ball in the fairway than they are actual basketball. Unless you consider Moneyball actual basketball, then I guess there has been actual basketball being played with them. But the team itself doesn't promote that. That's Moneyball promoting that. So I don't know. You can go up and down the list. There's a bunch of other teams that I feel like aren't exactly promoting their team playing basketball. Illinois is doing a bunch of it, which to me does actually signal that Illinois feels pretty strong about this. Because if you didn't think the guys were talented or going to be good, I don't think you're going out of your way to put all this content together. So shout out to Illinois basketball. With that said, there's a lot that looks really good. There's some that I'm a little more skeptical of. And the important thing to me here is all of the clips they're putting out publicly map almost exactly with what we are hearing privately. Now, there will be people who listen to this video sleepers. They don't have sources. They don't talk to anybody. What do we say to those people, Cart?
We do.
We do. And also we talk to disconnected ones. Like Cart has some Illinois people and I have some Illinois people. And if there was a Venn diagram for it, they wouldn't all overlap. So sometimes we will run things up the flagpole of hey, what are you hearing from Illinois? Blah, blah, blah. And we will get some oh, this is going on. You can speak to it vaguely. You can be pointed. Sometimes people will tell us you can't say this. So we're going to try and make sense of some of this. We'll sort of reveal what we have been hearing and then try and map this to what the video was in an early look for Illinois basketball. That sound good?
Sounds perfect to me.
Okay, let's kind of go step by step and see if ours are the same here. We haven't talked about this before doing this video. So what is the loudest thing that you have been hearing about Illinois basketball this offseason?
Casparis might be first team all Big Ten, one and done, the goods, best player on Illinois by far. Incredible.
That is word for word what I have been hearing. The reports to me have been Casparis is insane. He's just a different level than everyone else in the gym every time he's in the gym. And I mean, I heard this. I don't know if you heard this the same way, but there was some he's the best guy since blank going on. And
I didn't hear it.
it was going back to the IO days.
Oh wow,
he's
I didn't
our
hear
best
that.
since blank.
Good grief.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to come to fruition or not, but it maps. When you watch the videos they're putting out, go watch the latest Illinois video. One, this dude's hitting fadeaways. He's hitting pull-up threes. He always has the ball in transition. Did you see that between the legs bounce drop off he did to Drake Gibbs Lawhorn?
Yeah, Casparis he looks special, and honestly, the clock is ticking on BYU to release some Igor film. The clock's ticking. It really is.
Yeah, I keep waiting. If KJ was worth a few 100,000 less than Igor Devin to Illinois, I'd love to see what Igor would look like right now because, yeah, all accounts and all visuals we've seen are that Casparis is insane. I feel very strongly this will be the best player on Illinois now. I know I've hinted it could be Merez. I think we all have agreed Casparis is the highest upside guy. I don't think we got to worry about a floor with him really right now. I think it's all upside for Casparis.
Yeah, and the film matches that from what they're releasing. Also, to me, he visibly looks physically bigger, or maybe what I saw or the videos I saw before, the pictures I saw before, he looked just smaller.
Yeah.
I think he's just a lot taller, lengthier than I maybe thought originally.
He just carries himself like a dude too. Like you see him interact with the other Illinois players on the floor, many of whom are going to start for this team. And like the video they're putting out, Casparis carries himself like I'm the alpha here, and
Mm.
that's really interesting to me. It's a bummer. Will Riley hasn't been in any of the footage yet. That is kind of the one big variable here is like we don't know. Obviously, if we're hearing rumblings from practice, we don't know what Will Riley's going to do to that. You still think like Will Riley might be the most talented player on this team, but I think it's kind of we're at the point where we got to consider like Casparis and Will Riley are an insane duo.
Uh, Gee, I think we're getting to a point though.
What point is that?
It Will Riley's the most talented person on the team?
You think Casparis is?
Yeah.
I guess I want to see Will first. I still kind of view it as like Will Riley is the NBA guy, and Casparis will get to the NBA, but he's the best player.
All right.
Yeah,
Ah,
it's an insane wing duo.
yeah. Great, great, great problem for Brad and them to have.
Our teams are starting Reuben Jones and Frankie Fiddler at the three. Frankie
What would
Fiddler looks nice though.
What would Reuben Jones average in Moneyball?
I don't know. Okay, what else? So that was the loudest thing for me too, that maps. I have a second thing that I have heard as well that is also positive. I'm wondering if it maps with your second thing that you've heard.
The second thing that I heard was that Humrickhouse has been really, really good. Did you
Interesting.
hear that?
Not really. Not really. I've
What
heard
did
like
you
they're pleasantly surprised with Humrick House, but or not. I don't want to say surprised. I've heard like yeah, Humrick House he'll make shots. Like that's what
oh I heard he's gonna be a booty ball demon.
I would fact check that one.
All
I
right,
would
I might have
fact
to go back and check that one. Well, so
yeah.
what was your other positive?
My other positive is that DGL has been a huge pleasant surprise.
See, I didn't hear that from anybody, but what I saw make maps out with that. Like
Yeah.
the video content, what I saw, he looked really good.
And if we are doing like the what did you see in the video game, I don't think we saw a lot of Humrick House. Like you see
Mm,
catch and shoot corner threes from Humrick House.
yeah.
And if people are really believing, oh, it's booty ball, not seeing a ton of that. Also, like, I get that booty ball's the buzzword and it was fun last year, and Brad's, he's going to keep doing it. If Casparis is who Casparis is, and Boswell's good, or DGL's good, and Will Riley's good, you're not playing Rickhouse booty ball. Like that would be the worst possible thing to do. Damask started doing booty ball because Damask was the best half court player on the team, and that included Terrence Shannon. So if we're gonna sit here and say like Rickhouse is more talented in the half court than Casparis, then fine, booty ball. But I mean, the eye test and everything we're hearing is that Casparis is the dude here. Will Riley also might be a lottery pick. You don't need Humrick House booty ball anymore.
Well, you do because this is why you do. For the last 2 months, 2.5 months, I think it is, when asked, I've said that he's the best player. So if you're going to give me an inch, I'm going to take a mile because I love my agendas.
Yeah, you might just have to see it die. With that said, I haven't heard Humrick House is bad. Like nobody's disappointed in Humrick House from what I've heard. Obviously, your sources are telling you good things on Humrick House. I've said it before. I will say it again. The better comp for Humrick House this year is Quincy Guerrier. Can he be a Quincy Guerrier that shoots 42% from three? Yes, he can. And I think you're ecstatic with that. So what we saw in that video maps to that for me. He's going to be the floor spacer for all these other dudes, and he's going to make shots at a really high level. Yeah, I've been told this one kind of goes hand in hand with a pivot that I think we're about to make. I've been told from some people that DGL has been the best non-Casparis guard. Now, you can define Casparis as a point guard because I think he plays like a point guard, or you can define him as like this bigger wing dude because that's what his body's shaped like. DGL's been good. I think the eye test checks that up. He's hitting shots off the dribble. He's exploding. He's fast. There's been a bunch of good DGL clips week after week right now from Illinois basketball. That's really good and exciting. that also means somebody else doesn't look very good.
It does. And that kind of maps with some things I've been hearing that Casparis obviously been incredible. DGL's been good. With that has kind of like the other guards on the team have struggled a bit. And I think those struggles have also, you know, they've been pretty evident. And look, it's still early on. Things happen. Still a long way to go here. Don't get me wrong. But if you were stack ranking guards on this team right now, you might have had other guards up there coming into this season, and that is kind of or coming into this off season, and that has apparently changed throughout what's been going on so far.
Can we can we just spell it out a little more? Because I feel like you're tiptoeing.
Boswell struggled from what I'm hearing.
What I have been told, and what you I think what you have been told is the same on this. Uh Boswell's struggles have been as loud as Casparis's greatness. Like you ask what's going on in the Illinois gym, what people will tell you is Casparis is incredible, Boz is struggling.
Right.
And then, oh yeah, Hummer's making shots. Oh, DGL looks pretty good. Oh, Ty's kind of making like there's other stuff, but like those are the two big things here.
Can
Are
can
those two things.
can we talk about that too? Because there seems to be this like whole narrative around Ty and Ty shooting all these jumpers and Ty making shots. I've yet to at least hear from people I talk to or anyone come out and be like, yeah, Ty's been one of the better players in the gym.
Yeah, I think there's a pretty dedicated attempt from Illinois' social team to like show this off. Now, I will say there is a difference between what we got in the latest video versus what we did 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, it was like Ty just shooting open jumpers in the corner in a catch and shoot drill. This, like, Ty hit some turnarounds, some off the dribble, some hand in the face stuff in live action. Like, the fact that he's even attempting that feels different. It feels like some growth. I wouldn't say that moves the needle at all for Ty or for Illinois, though, because let's be real about this. He's still shooting pull-up twos. You don't want contested pull-up Ty Rodgers twos. So, like, credit to him for taking them. If he can make them now, that's great. Until he like develops a three-point shot, I don't think that's needle moving for Illinois because you don't want those shots in real games.
Yeah. But I mean, have you heard any other positives? I mean, I heard like the natural, like Merez has been a monster. I did hear Trey White too has been like, I need to come around on Trey White more, but I just can't.
Yeah, they said I think this was like before, or maybe I don't remember when Casparis got there. I feel like it was before Casparis got there. There was some like Trey White might be our best player talk, and then Casparis got there. And it was like, no, he's not. Like, never mind. The Trey White stuff's not popping on video for me. I'll say that. Now we're seeing the clips they're putting out. We're not seeing a full practice. We're hearing about a full practice, but I gotta see the Trey White stuff with my eyes to believe it.
I believe it. I
Do you
mean, I
believe
don't
the
know.
Boswell struggles though? Like I feel like we said it and we kind of just moved on. Do you believe that and how impact? Because I feel like they brought him in thinking like this is your team now. You know?
I believe it because it wasn't like Boswell's just been a disaster. It was he struggled basically taking care of the basketball.
Yeah.
Like he's struggling kind of being the PG running teams, making it go, while at the same time, Casparis is just looking incredible.
Yeah.
So and it could be two things though. It could be like, oh, he's just being looked at what Casparis is doing, and anything he's doing is just it's not going to work. Or it could be that it is actually visibly noticeable that he's kind of just struggled to, you know, be the point guard.
Yeah, the only other big thing I would say is I think Boz has one of the hardest adjustments because you're coming from a team that was so established with good players everywhere, right? Like Pell Larson's in the NBA now. Kashad Johnson's going to get a look in the NBA. Umar Ballo's a starting center for Indiana for $1 billion, and Caleb Love is going to shoot 30 times a game. So like Boz had a very defined role that often didn't ask him to do a ton on that team. Now you're stepping into a team with 11 new faces that are all varying in readiness levels, and Boz is kind of expected to be the most ready guy. I think he may, of everybody on this roster, be the guy I'm most confident will look better by the time the season gets here than he does now, because he's learning on the fly. He also reportedly shed like 20 pounds of fat upon immediately getting to Illinois. So shout out to the strength team at Illinois. John Sanderson could never. But it's got to be concerning, though. Like, if the report coming out is like DGL's outplaying Kylan Boswell, that should terrify people.
Should it?
You think that's more just like good news than it is?
Maybe one less chef in the Casparis' kitchen.
Maybe. It doesn't DGL always need the spatula, though, if he's on the court?
I'm not gonna lie, DGL look. I kind of like want DGL to play.
I do too. I'm not
We
giving
like
up. I
we
just
like
like.
DGL.
But if Casparis is Casparis, do we want like diet Carson Edwards? Is that the perfect running mate?
I I do personally. Yes.
Okay, then you always want Carson Edwards.
Yeah, I was about to say. I can't believe you just expected me to say I don't want that.
You're right. You're right.
Dang.
All in all, add everything together. Does this make you feel better or worse about Illinois?
Better.
A lot better.
A lot
Also,
better.
can we go through our quick points and do like how much do you buy this real quick? Because obviously some of this is just being told to us. Do you buy that Casparis is like Big Ten Player of the Year good potentially?
Yes.
I do too. Do you buy that Kylan Boswell is struggling to the level we think he may be?
Yes.
I do too. Do you buy that DGL is like emerging as a starter level good guy?
Not. I'm a little bullish on buying that.
I want to buy it, but I don't think I buy it. Do you buy that Rickhouse, what you've been told? Let's go off of what you've been told, not what I've been told.
I'm gonna say no, but that's only because with that said, the term that was thrown out when I heard that too was, oh yeah, it's great. It's booty ball. It's Damas 2.0, and he's not Damas, so I'm not buying it.
That's a total no-go for me based on what I've been told in the eyes that I've seen. Do you buy the Ty Rodgers jumper? That's a needle mover and different.
No.
I'm gonna say yes on Ty. I think if he can just like attempt those shots, he becomes a different player. And I do think Ty's still gonna start on this team. And is there? Oh, Trey White. Do you buy that Trey White might be the best non-Casparis player here?
No.
I don't either. So we're throwing a lot out, but we're buying Casparis big time. And the final element of this whole conversation, I promised that we would do this part. Let me make sure I'm careful on this. I think there could be a problem for Illinois.
Oh no, Gregory.
This is the PhD trying to push its way through in July cart. It's trying to break through the skin.
It's summer vacation.
It's trying to break through the skin.
You overworked yourself, Greg.
There's a little bit of a like, wait a second here problem that could be coming. Who has Illinois been like heavily recruiting lately?
Jasper Johnson.
Jasper Johnson, right? He just visited Alabama too. They told him he's Brandon Miller. We've been covering that a lot. Like you got to beat Kentucky and Alabama for Jasper, but Illinois is trying, right? They're trying to get Jasper Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
So you mean to tell me that as far as like point guards go, we have Kylan Boswell, who looks bad, but is gonna be here for 2 years expecting to start at point guard. Then you have Casparis, who looks like the best player Illinois had in forever, who's also point guard. And we don't know, even if he's great, is he here for 2 years? Illinois probably wants him here for 2 years if he's great, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're not just writing Casparis in as he's gone next summer. Like, you want Casparis here for 2 years. Okay, so Kylan and Casparis are point guards that are here for 2 years. You got DGL looking good. Probably wants to play. Probably has 3 more years of eligibility left. You have Jeremiah Fears coming in, who we thinks he's a one-and-done level guy. And now you also want Jasper Johnson? Why? I mean, why? Because Jasper's great. But, like, what is going on with that logjam? Like, that's 5 point guards that all project to be on next year's roster, in my opinion. And I think if Kylan was good, this was less of a problem to me. Because it's kind of like, oh, like you've committed to Kylan and he's a senior. When these guys get in as freshmen, it'll work. But if Kylan's bad, like, what do you do? Because he's not going anywhere else.
Are we sure he's not?
I guess we're not, but like, I'm getting a little concerned. Like, this is more than just the log jam. Maybe the fact that they're so heavily on point guards means something and may have some ramifications here.
Well, I'll tell you what. There's absolutely no way that Colin Boswell is ecstatic right now, because he committed he committed pretty early in the transfer portal process to Illinois, and since he's got there, Brad's grabbed another PG. He's recruiting the best PGs in the country. He already has a commitment from one of the better PGs in the country. He's going after another PG in the country. What does that say about how maybe Brad and co feel about Colin Boswell?
Here's what I think each of these 5 guards is thinking right now. I think Kylan Boswell is thinking, this is my team. How come Casparis is here? And how come you're still after more 5 stars? I think Casparis is thinking, I'm that boy. Let's go get Pizza Hut. I think DGL is thinking, this is my year. I'm going to be a part of this. I think Jeremiah Fears is thinking, I'm better than most of these dudes. It'll be okay. But why do you want Jasper too? And then I think Jasper is thinking, none of this matters. I'm better than all these dudes. That's a lot of dudes who think they're better than everybody else here. They can't all be right.
Jasper is also, he's just going, Coach Antigua with his hands up in the air. That's all he's doing. That's all he's saying.
They can't all be right? Like there's a 0.0. There might be a negative 20% chance all 5 of these dudes are on the same roster next year. So like,
you're also forgetting that it's like that meme where it's all 5 of them together. Then there's one guy off to the right, and off to the right is Will Riley. Like, give me the ball.
Yeah. So is it like I think if we're doing like actual future, like what the hell happens here? The best case scenario for Illinois would include Jasper Johnson because Jasper's great, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I think the best case scenario for Illinois would probably be Casparis is stupidly good and has a decision to make on whether he leaves for the NBA or not. Maybe Boswell's just not good, but it doesn't matter because Casparis is so good. So like Bos kind of gets recruited over. DGL, I don't think you really care. Maybe he's good, maybe not. And like the best case is like Jasper and Jeremiah agree to share a backcourt for a year. But I think that only happens if both Casparis and Kylan leave. So it's just, do you see what I'm saying? Like I'm so excited about the future Illinois backcourt and what they're trying to do. And it completely conflicts with the 3 guys that are currently there.
Right. Especially all this like 2-year plan stuff we're hearing.
Yeah, and it can't be a 2-year plan.
This is really throwing a wrench in the 2-year plan.
It is. And look, I know there's probably going to be Illinois fan. Watch this get aggregated through some Illinois sites and people tell us we're assholes and liars and idiots and they have no sources. They're making bullshit up. Ask the Purdue people how the cannon catching stuff went when we kind of signaled that this felt a little weird. We're not usually wrong when we feel strong enough that like the signs aren't adding up here. It is not adding up to me why Illinois is prioritizing a second point guard next season when they still have Kylan Boswell and DGL and Casparis right now. That feels very confusing to me.
Yeah, this the thing is, if this ends up with the best players, whatever that might be, starting for Illinois next season, in 2 years from now, then that's fine, right?
Yeah.
But this needs to be managed correctly.
Right. Because you can't fast forward to next season. Like Kylan Boswell is going to be here as the starting point guard. So you can't just like, and I know we're kind of summarizing this like, well, Kylan looks bad. Let's just run him out. That's not going to happen. So, but that's the complicated part of this is I don't think it's very easy for Boswell to be bad. Illinois needs Boswell to be good this year. And if the reports are that he isn't looking great, that's scary. And 2, I don't know how you manage it, right? Because you can't scrap the guy who's supposed to be your starting point guard, but you also don't want Kylan to get in the way of the guys you're recruiting for the future. So
Brad will do it. He knows what to do.
so there's 5 names that we just ran through. You're Brad Underwood. Put them in order of how much you want them on next year's Illinois basketball team.
Casparis, Jeremiah, Jasper, DGL, Kylan.
You having Jeremiah ahead of Jasper is interesting. I thought you liked Jasper, the player, a little more.
I like them both.
I love them both, but is that just more like we already got him? Like he's in orange right now, so we gotta like if Jasper committed to Illinois, would you flip those two or no?
I might, yeah.
Okay. My order's the same for what's I have Jeremiah 2. I have Casparis 1. He sounds that good and looks that good. I think you put Jasper 3. I might put Kylan 4, DGL 5. Like I think we're writing off Kylan a little too quick, but
I'm the only reason I'm putting DGL 4. DGL might just be like a program guy.
yeah. I mean, the
Like
kid
he might,
seems very mature right now. Yeah.
yeah, like he might just be a good program guy. Like he'll be fine. Like I feel like Kylan will not be fine.
I don't know. Kylan might be fine. He might just want to be home.
I guess Champagne's
I
great.
hope it works. I'm not giving up on Kylan the player this year. It signals to me like doesn't 2 + 2 = 4 sometimes? Like, oh, Kylan doesn't sound like he's playing very well. Oh, Brad Underwood's desperately trying to bring in his second 5-star point guard for next year. Like,
Connect the dots.
I don't know. Just wondering. Okay, there's your Illinois early look. Can't wait to see the responses to this one.